I did want to ask you a question, though, Igal.
Yeah.
Why are Arsenal fans so triggered by Rashford at the moment?
No, they're not triggered by Rashford.
Why, when I tweeted out Rashford's stats yesterday, do I get hundreds of replies from some gooners saying, why are you adding goals from all comps? Why? Like, I'm not slagging Rashford off, slagging Saka off in any way. But every time I mention how good Rashford is, 90% of my replies are about, yeah, but Saka's better. But why are you guys so triggered by Man United and Rashford right now?
Terry, it's tribalism. The honest answer is it's tribalism, and they're not triggered by Rashford. It's Manchester United are also triggered by Bukayo Saka. We put out a stat that Bukayo Saka has more GA in the Premier League than Rashford, and next thing you know, you got Man United fans all in your mentions. It's just how it is. It's tribalism, football tribalism. People are going to back their player. I genuinely believe Bukayo Saka is a better player than Rashford. Rashford's on hot form. Doesn't take it away from him.
Do you know what, though, Gal? I just want to speak on this because the same thing happened today, but with us. Salah got that tackle by Dan Burn on Sasti, and then today an Arsenal fan said, "Oh, the referee must have imagined it was Saka on his back." My club were the worst at doing this, putting their heads into places that it shouldn't be. Why are you, man, starting to do the exact same thing when two people are having a football discussion and it's all about Arsenal? It's got to be about Arsenal. Sometimes, guess what? Your club just isn't involved. It doesn't matter.
You know what?
I feel like people should just be happy that England's got two wingers flourishing right now.
And this is the crazy. And this is the crazy. Neek says here, but you're directly mentioning Rashford in that tweet, and that's the difference. I am just putting out a tweet that is bigging up Rashford. What you never see me do is to make Rashford look better. I don't slag off Saka ever. And a lot of people have said you shouldn't include, like when you say best winger in the league, you shouldn't include their goals from outside the direct Premier League. And I always think that's a nonsense. And the reason that I think that's a nonsense is because Rashford's playing 2 games a week and he's delivering in all competitions at all times.
Saka's not?
Well, he's not playing 2 games a week right now, is he?
No, but if he was majority of the season.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't scoring. But you're missing my point. You're missing my point. It's not a dig at again. I didn't say it was a dig at Saka. I didn't mention Saka. The reason why I don't think you exclude when I'm talking about the brilliance of a player, and I'm talking every player I mention, I'm talking about the complete GA in all competitions. Because when I judge a player who's been the best this season, I don't narrow it down to one competition. I look at how they've performed across the board. You know, people do that with Antonio Conte. League-wise, one of the best managers in the world. If you look at his league and his European pedigree, he drops down the pecking order, right? So when I look at Rashford, I just think this year he has delivered in every single competition that he's played for Man United, which is why I would say, as a Premier League player, and from an attacking point of view, he's been the best winger. And by the way, he's only now 4 GA away from matching Haaland's season that everybody was saying was on Ballon d'Or level form. And for me, I'm just trying to congratulate my own player, but I do it, and the anger in the replies is crazy to me. It's crazy to me because I'm not slagging anybody off. And then you have people like Babs going on True Geordie show saying that Rashford's just having a Jarred Bowen season. Like, that's a madness to me.
No, but you heard his take. He was saying he's outperforming his XG.
What does that mean?
He's outperforming what the goals that he should be producing. So he's being extremely clinical, and maybe it's not sustainable.
No, but I can't lie. I would have to disagree with that, Gal, because I feel like if you said that 2 or 3 months ago, maybe he's outperforming his GA. He's scoring a few goals more than he should, but he's been doing this for about 3-4 months. Ever since they've come back from the World Cup, he's been on fire, unstoppable, and he's been doing it. It's not just the amount of goals he's scoring; it's the type of goals he's scoring. Gal, let's be honest, he's scoring a variety of goals, taking players on that. Well. The one against and the one in the cup as well. Like, the guy has shown that he's developed his game a lot. And this is the player that, let's be honest, we expected to see Rashford become a few years ago. It's just been a bit delayed. And I can't lie. No one can deny that he's playing like the best winger in the league. He's the most informed player in the world right now. You just have to respect the player. And that's why this is why I think the pressure needs to be on Man United to go for that title, because you've got
you just want to try and get third
football in the world right now. And you can't deny that. He's playing so good. He's carrying you guys to that into your potential title push. Let's see how he does in this.
No, just hold up. No. We can't say Rashford is the best, is the most informed attack in the world because there's a guy called Osimhen for Napoli who is the best striker in the world right now. So let's be real. But he's definitely he's one off. You can say he's one off.
1 second, Terry. Did you hear that? He mentioned Osimhen again.
Yeah, but what way do you want to look at Osimhen? Because
I mentioned Osimhen last week, and they brought up all these stats.
I was doing this today because I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Yeah, because Rashford's got how much GA this season right now, and Osimhen's got 18 goals, and Rashford by the way, yeah, Osimhen's got 18 goals in the league. Rashford, as a left winger / sometimes striker, has got 14 Premier League goals. Technically, he's only 4 away. And he's got a bunch of assists behind him.
But also, it's the type of goals this guy is scoring. Osimhen's scoring all types of goals.
Yeah, my God. The goal Osimhen scored is practically the same he scored against Ter Stegen in the Europa League.
So, yeah, I mean, but Rashford scored everything. He scored tap-ins, headers. He scored 3 goals in 2 months where he's dribbled past a whole flank of a team and, like, wellied it in. He scored screamers. He's done. By the way, I think Victor Osimhen is great. But Rashford, I think, has 6 more goals since the return of the World Cup than any other striker in Europe. And I get some people, I saw a lot of replies saying, yeah, but some of them were against like lower level teams in the league cups and whatever else. But so are we now discounting goals from, so do we now go back through the record books and any goal that Messi or Ronaldo or Henry or Shearer scored against teams that drop below a certain level, are we going to scrap them from records? It's crazy.
Like, imagine comparing the Serie A to Premier League.
This was happening to Bruno when Bruno was scoring penalties. Suddenly, for the first time in the history of football, penalty goals didn't count as real goals. It's mental health issues. It's mental health issues.
Do you know what's with Rashford? No, because I've always like, bro, Terry, from way back when, years ago, I saw that like Rashford, the guy is brainless, he's headless, and the guy's useless. And I almost tried to fight you when you compared him to Mbappe. But this season, maybe it's Ten Hag and so forth, he's been quality. But what's got me Rashford's respect was that when he became the forward, was what he did at Camp Nou. It was not only the first goal, it was that second goal. Like what he did to Rafinha to create that space that led to the own goal. I was like, no, I'm looking at a different place. The player before was a guy who was brainless, had 0 football IQ, didn't know what he was doing. This guy's garbage. I don't know what Ten Hag has done this season, but he's been quality. He's been quality. But it was specifically those 2 goals he scored at Camp Nou. I said, I'm looking at something different here from him.
Yeah, I do get that. And listen, I think the amount of goals he's scoring game in, game out, do I think he'll keep scoring in almost every game he plays? No, I don't think he will, because there've been a handful, especially in the Premier League, there's been a handful of, no one ever in English football has scored in nearly every single game they've played, season in, season out, year after year after year after year after year. There's been a handful that have done it, like as in out and out number 9s. But even like people like Michael Owen, people look at him as, like, Harry Kane has scored 25 to 35 plus goals every year for a decade. Henry was sensational. Aguero is very good. There's only been, like, if you actually go through the last 30 years of football and look at how many have done it, I don't expect Rashford to keep scoring at this rate. But this is a guy that will consistently get, in a good system with a good manager, between 35 and 45 GA every year, which for me is world-class levels. And I just think that he's back to what he was doing 2 years ago. And people they're looking at the blip year and they're using that as this. That's what Rashford is. And they're ignoring the body of work that came before it and the progression that he was making every single year. And I just think it's crazy, whether it's his celebration, whether it's who he scores against, there's always anger and detractors and frustration. And personally, I'm loving it. I just wanted to ask what people thought the reason was, because for me, it's great to see one of my players hated so much for being brilliant.
He's like 5 or 6 GA.
Why is Saka copying Rashford's celebration?
Mbappe did it yesterday as well.
He looks up to him.
Is
everyone copying Rashford's celebration now?
apparently, everyone's paying homage to Rashford. Let them run with that.
You know, it's mad, Jay. He's only like, I think I read he's like 6 GA away from Haaland's total GA as well. Like,
three. Yeah, Haaland's on 36 all comps. Rashford's on 32.
Rashford needs to do it in a major final, then we can talk. That's what we're missing. Let him ball and score in a major final.
Did he not score against in the Europa League when he was young as well? Like, no, major final.
I think he didn't score in the final.
You like that one, innit?
What I would say though, have hope. No, he didn't score in it. He didn't score in the final. No, in that final, Pogba scored and
Mkhitaryan was it? Mkhitaryan
scored. But I think for me, with you're right in terms of legacy of the game. Sort of scoring in semi-finals and finals puts you another echelon. But again, he's still only 25. He's probably got 7-8 years left in his career to do that. We've got some super chats here I want to do. First one says, FSG made us healthy financially, but I want them gone because they don't invest something
how
they're supposed to in the squad. FSG should have told Klopp, you're the manager, we will get you a midfielder. The team needs to show us they care. I don't feel like they do, is what Honesty has got to say to us here. This here says, tell George to shut up with 2 games every week. He said that about United falling because but he keeps forgetting United have been playing 2 games a week since the World Cup, is what Half and Half amazing.
That's why they should be in the title race, man. They've proved me wrong. That's why they're in the title race.
This question for Igal, I think, is Ten Hag a better manager than Arteta?
He has more experience. Let's see how he does.
Oh, Igal, stop with the politician answers. Yes or no?
Yes or no? Igal, yes or no?
I still think Arteta's a better manager than Ten Hag, but let's see how he does.
You're about to put him in a title race with your manager's first title.
So, basically, you think Arteta's better? The answer is no.
Igal, you've got a cup final coming up. One-off game. Who are you picking as your manager for that one-off game? Ten Hag or Arteta? Who do you back to get the win?
Football doesn't work that way.
But just answer the question. No. He's crazy. He's giving you a scenario.
The reality is, a manager doesn't come out for a one-off game. He needs time to implement.
But it's a scenario. It's just a scenario. Just answer the question.
How much time ago? How much time ago?
No one's gonna call you out if you're wrong, bro.
You know what the madness thing is, yeah? Ten Hag hasn't even implemented his own system, like his actual system. He's tweaked it for the likes of De Gea and the back four and the capable players.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And he's tweaked it many times, by the way, this season. But we don't have to have that conversation to how adaptive he is. So when he likes to get all his players, just like your team, I wonder how we'll play. Different goalkeeper, different centre mid. I wonder how Rashford will play when we actually get further up the pitch. You know, with Man United, start the deepest out of any team in the Premier League, by the way.
And you guys have the funniest goalkeeper on the planet. De Gea is hilarious. The guy, unwarranted punches. He could catch the ball.
Unwarranted punches. I mean, he's better than your goalkeeper, though, so that's what I know.
Just because I know everyone's got interest of time, I'm going to stop this conversation. We've got loads of super chats and 2 more subjects to do. Sorry, boys. Question, we'll get a quick answer on this. If Ten Hag, and I'll go to have hope to answer this question. If Ten Hag took the job at City or Arsenal in the summer, where would they be in the table?
Close, yeah. Tom is right. Close to. I'd say arguably say first.
Fair enough. Yeah. Honest truth, we aren't used to our players being at such a level and having the limelight, not to be on them. A bit of jealousy, but Rashford is better right now, is what Akil says, who's an Arsenal fan. Thank you, Akil. Xavi rotated our defense. That's why Rashford scored. I love it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Big game logic against Rashford. You don't know ball. Yeah, Rashford's big game goal scoring record is pretty damn good, to be fair. And this here says, lol, Erik Ten Hag carried Ajax kids to a Champions League semi. Arteta is a clown, is what KC has got to say.
Also,
yeah.